good, you guys? This is Steven with All Talk On, and we have my little brother's PC, codenamed Devil's Den. Now, I know we've gone a lot over this PC in past videos. If you're a subscriber that regularly watches my videos, which I know I have at least one or two of you out there, you guys already know this computer, but this was more for the people that don't know what codename Devil's Den is, because I've noticed that my Thermaltake overview of the case actually is getting a little bit of views, a handful of views, and the codename Devil's Den one is not, it's getting a lot, but it's not as much, and that is, I feel like the people that have seen the Thermaltake Core View 1 overview haven't seen the Devil's Den one because it doesn't have any tags or names to bring that up in the search. So basically when they view that, they're just looking at me building my brother's gaming PC. Not to mention now I have a high definition camera that I can use to film. In my last video, if you guys don't remember me saying, my high def camera was dead at the moment. So this time I'm actually going to go through the build, what it has in it, what you guys can put in it. I left that plugged in, doesn't really matter. But I basically, and I'm going to actually name it Thermaltake Core V1 in the title and tag it so that way it will pop up in searches when people are looking for gaming builds that have been built in this particular case. So we're going to do a little 360 view of the case, and as you can see we have the graphics card out through there. I do have the case window on the top. As far as the components in this build, we have a Pentium G3258 on an Asus H81 ITX motherboard, as well as a R9 270X Devil Edition by Power Color, and 8 gigs of G-Skill Sniper memory. What else we got in here? Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte, and a Cooler Master, what is that? Cooler Master Ceton 120. I think that's the 120V in there, not the 120M. Yeah, the 120V, I put that one back in here. So we have the 120V in there, basically cooling the CPU. For the power supply, we have a 500 watt, 80 plus efficient EVGA power supply. So I'm basically going to do a little bit of a teardown and show you guys what this can actually fit inside of it. We'll go ahead and also do a look at the top. So if you see in the top, we have basically everything nice and compact in there. Decent cable management. Surprisingly, this gives you some good options for cable management, believe it or not. It is dense. It's a little heavy, you know what I mean? So first thing we're going to do is pop off the front. So I do have a radiator installed, but as you guys can see, I also still have the 200mm fan installed at the top. So basically that's in a, or at the front. So basically that's in a push-pull configuration. The graphics card, as you guys can also see, is popping out a little bit here. So first thing I guess we're going to show is the graphics card. And like I said, I'm just doing this video basically in case anybody that looked up Thermaltake Core V1 gaming builds and couldn't find anything, because I already know there really isn't anything to find on gaming builds in this case. It's one of the main reasons I chose this case. Not to mention it's freaking awesome. So that's what the graphics card looks like in there. Overall, just, it's a beast. Looks pretty freaking awesome if I do say so myself. On the other side we have my hard drive. So all these panels are removable. If you've watched the overview, then you know that. I've sat there removing all of them for you guys. So, and they are swappable. You can basically, with this latch, it's all symmetrical. So you can literally turn it around, put it on the other side. You can put it on the top if you wanted to. I just keep it on the sides because I like the graphics card being ventilated. And honestly, putting the window in front of this part right here seems pointless because then all you would see is the hard drive, which honestly no one really cares about. But as you guys can see, we have the 1 terabyte Seagate Barracuda nicely tucked in. Case window on the top comes off. So as you guys can see, this case gets pretty naked for us. Pretty nice. So one of the main things I really did like about this is I was able to put the radiator right up front and have the 200mm fan for push-pull, which is pretty awesome if I do say so myself. I thought that was pretty cool. And you can have 80mm fans in the back. 80mm fans are really noisy, or I think they're 90 actually, 90mm. They're really noisy. Didn't really care for them. As far as coolers that you can fit in this, the tallest cooler I was able to get my hands on that would fit is a Cooler Master TX3, I think a Hyper TX3 cooler. Now this used to be in there until I saw a 120V on sale for cheap, so I picked that up instead because water cooling is the way to go. But this does fit in there with about ½ inch clearance to the top, and it's a really cool cooler for how small it is. Once again though, these fans get really freaking loud under heavy load. So that's why one of the main reasons I wanted to get rid of it. This thing stays freaking quiet. Even under stress testing, it's still very, very low as far as the noise level. So we're going to pop the bottom off. I'll show you guys the bottom of it as well, because it wouldn't be complete if I didn't show you guys all the panels. So all the panels are removable, including the bottom, and they are all also interchangeable, including the bottom. So if you want to put this like here and go bam, you definitely can, and you could then have the system like that with the graphics card on the top. And then if you really wanted to, you could, make the horrible airflow decisions to put the case window on the top and then have it like that. Issues that I have with that is the power supply fan is right here. I guess you could put this one right here and still get some airflow, but as you can see, it's covering up a lot of the fan there. Kind of a shitty situation that they did. But the bottom part of it does have a nice removable fan filter, which always is an awesome feature that I think everything should have. Another issue with rotating it, I've stated in my videos before, is this symbol does not rotate. The Thermaltake symbol. And it is actually got like an indent that it fits in perfectly. So if you were to remove this thing logo, you would still have that indentation right there. So honestly, rotating it isn't something I would really care to do. But as far as you guys can see, we have this full-size ATX power supply, and we still have about 1.5 to 2 inches worth of clearance for an even bigger power supply down there. So all of my wires, and this is what I mean by it's pretty cool, not only can you hide them underneath if you have a shit ton of wires. I only actually have, these are actually only 3 wires right here. This is the power for the graphics card, 24-pin connector, and the 4-pin connector, actually 4. There's the USB 3.0s in there too. Shit's falling everywhere. Probably should have found a little bit of a better place to put all these panels. So, most of my wires were actually routed through right here. They're in between the hard drive and the power supply. If you guys saw the build video, then obviously you know this. I stuffed literally all the wires in here except for the 3 wires that came from the power supply that I actually needed, which was the 24-pin, the 4 or 8-pin, and the, what is it called? Crap, forgot the name. The graphics card VGA cable. So overall, like I said, this case was just so awesome, so compact. And I think this graphics card is only about 10 inches long or so. Let's get some measuring tape and actually find out the exact length of this thing. So we're going to measure it from right about here. So we're looking at about 10.5 inches. I hate how they always tell you, it actually specs at about 10 inches long. But this thing is longer than 10 inches. I mean, I guess if you measure it from this side of the shroud, you're getting about 10, little bit under 10.5. Like literally 1/8 of an inch under, 1/4 of an inch under 10.5. But you don't measure it from there. You're going to measure it from where it connects to the PCI. And if you do that, it's about almost 11 inches. So this is a pretty long card. And I would say that you have, basically you can fit about 11 inches. Maybe get away with an 11.5 inch card in this case. Maybe. I'm not really going to say that you can or can't because I don't have an 11.5 inch card. I have a 13 inch card. I know that's not going to fit in here. So, yeah, overall, you guys, that's what it looks like. I don't know why this is leaning so much. Yeah, that 3.0 cable leans a lot for some reason. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It works just fine. So overall, you guys, that's the build right there. Look at that, though. It's a real nice piece of work. And like I said, I just wanted to do this because I wanted to make a new video that was actually going to be labeled as Thermaltake Core V1. That way, people who are searching gaming builds up can actually find the video through searching it.